Hey everybody. Today in the vlog, we are going to go over us in real time figuring out part of this Orisha PSP. We were doing it anyway. We didn't really want to take a break from it, and we thought it might help you know what it is we actually go through back and forth arguing about, kind of the little minutiae of the purview. To keep you up to date, this is I guess it's only the second version to this purview, I think, right?
It might even be like the first version. Huh?
Might actually be the first version. We didn't actually.
We did have to throw one away this time.
Yeah, we haven't completely thrown one away. We've ended up with some different different boons in it, but I think it's mostly the same structure. It's been through. I wrote it, and then Anne wrote one, and then I adjusted some of those and made some stats on them, and then she did a full write-up a few days ago. And then we've been kind of going through the individual boons, working through them, and now we're at the part where we really kind of nitpick through the boons specifically. So I would say so far probably about around 24 hours.
Oh, just like straight work to finish
Yeah.
it?
No, what's left? What we did already.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Something like
Okay, so about 24 hours so far of straight work on this PSP.
It's gonna be like, I hope it still take 24 more hours.
It's going to take at least 24 more hours. She's completely deluded. And so we're just going to do like 20 minutes of what we're doing right now in the PSP. I don't think, it might not be interesting at all, but if this is the kind of thing, like if you like making your own PSP or you like the way that we make PSPs and want to emulate it a little bit, then you may want to see the kind of stuff we're doing, the kind of stuff we argue about and talk about.
I think those who do want to make their own PSPs can actually find this frustrating because we're starting at like the end. But I think there might be something useful in it.
We are looking at, to keep you up to date, right now we're on the third level boon. We just moved it from second up to third to fix some power scaling of it. And it is the Orisha idea of picking your destiny and like choosing a head. And the basic concept is you get a relic that is your head. That's like a bonus relic kind of. It can only have certain powers on it, and at level 3 you pick a group of those powers. We're kind of figuring out right now how many and what powers and what they do.
Yeah, it's an overarching purview about the very unique Yoruba concept of destiny. This is part of that. So.
Yeah. Some things we're working with that we're still arguing about are whether there's another level later where you get a second head that has different stuff on it. You can switch back and forth between the two. We're just not in agreement on that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then a final level, or then a level later where your heads can get upgraded, and then a level later where you can choose between keeping two or keeping one really powerful one, or like two that you never switch between. You're just both all the time. And we don't know where we are on those. Right now we're just talking about the first level and the kind of powers that it could have. We already have a fairly large list of them. How many do we have for each?
We have 5 confirmed with like 4 that still need to be firmed up for the first one.
But so some of those 5 ones have like 3 versions.
Well, the later ones I only have 3 for the later ones.
Some of the early ones have 3 versions each.
So a total of 5 including those.
That's
6.
impossible. This first one has 1, 2.
This one is the only one that's 2 right now. 6. And then we've done 3 for the higher level one. So we've actually written 9 things, but only 6 go to the earlier level bit.
Huh, okay.
And then these are ones that we wrote down, but they haven't done systems yet.
That first one should have another one that goes with it. I don't remember. I know that's not helping you at all. You can't read anything. I guess Anne
Riveting.
could write it under here what we were talking about. Yeah.
Are those the 2 that you're thinking of? Like,
Oh, yeah, there is a purview.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the 5. Or the 6.
Oh, no, but that's kind of all one thing, right? Like, also ability should be one of them, right?
You never said that.
No, I maybe I took that
Because there's 2 different levels that are both abilities.
Yeah.
They do different things.
So then...
Levels, parts, whatever.
Just
trying to work on now.
Now we're just trying to figure out, well... I got a bunch of different ones that we need to kind of just come up with systems for.
I still have over here the bonuses to people with similar powers one.
Well, just people with similar powers. That's right, I want to come up with something for that.
And then did you want to change anything for the abilities work in game when you're needing thing? Do you keep that one as it is?
What do we have at right now?
Pick 2 abilities when you need them, when you gain legend, you gain legend.
Let's make it legend equal to your dots in the ability.
Okay. I like that. That makes sense, because it's Caribbean, that's something you would adjust to do.
Right. So when you legendary need those, you get legend equal. And I think that could be part of the low level one. Okay.
That's all that's on the list.
The people doing stuff near you that is they're good at, and the people doing stuff near you that they then are like the opposite.
We did the opposite already.
Okay,
We did the one where you do something better. If somebody
you
does
need to
it,
talk to the camera.
I was talking to you, and the camera's watching us.
You need to do both. Otherwise, your voice isn't being picked up.
We already did the one where if somebody does something and you do the same thing in the scene, you get a bonus for that.
Mm-hmm.
So the other one is if somebody has similar powers to you guys get bonuses from being around each other.
Right. Then we want to do the opposite one.
If you don't have powers in common, you get negatives.
No, where people who no one near you can have the same destiny, but doing the same thing.
That's May.
I know that happens in May. I'm not talking about that specifically. I'm talking about a different version of that.
I thought that's what we did with if you do it better after the person. You want to do another one still?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about it.
Well, one that adds, like these 2 should have fate bond connotation, so that the other person is getting fate bonds based on what you're doing.
Are they permanent?
They're fate bonds. They're not anything different than what they are.
I'm asking because that's a very different dynamic from just when I'm around them that it does something versus because I was around them they're changing forever.
Well, they're not changed forever. They just have fate bonds based on normal
Which
fate bond
changes them
stuff.
forever. That's what fate bonds do.
It does, but that's.
Right?
No, it doesn't change them forever. It adds a fate bond to them that can be changed later and can be affected and can be nullified and can be a lot of stuff.
But it does change them forever. It very distinctly changes their destiny forever. Just because you were around them. Not even necessarily because you were around them still. But just you met him one time and now that's happened forever.
No, you didn't meet him one time. You're both together doing lots of legend
Well,
stuff.
tell me about what you're doing then.
I don't have a system for it already, obviously.
Well, tell me about what makes sense then. Start working on it.
Nothing makes sense yet. You're supposed to figure it
You
out.
gotta start somewhere.
Oh, thank you. I know how to do things. Probably something with. Stop doing that with your head. The support one is probably when you do a purview and other people around you also do that purview. They fate bond to it, or when you get a fate bond to something, other people maybe one other person that's spent legend in the scene, you can pick them to get a fate bond for that as well. And they'll get like either the same fate bond as you, or a fate bond that just definitely has that one attribute or ability, and then the rest.
I think it makes more sense if they're using the same thing as you, or at least have the same thing as you. Because the idea is that because your destinies are similar, they're bolstering each other. Versus it would be weird for your destiny to just randomly hijack someone else's that didn't.
Well, I thought.
do that.
Okay. This is more the opposing one, but I thought for the opposing one, the idea was all of Shango's wives have water because when they're around him, they can't have sky.
I was saying they have water because they're around each other.
Okay.
And so they're all making each other more watery, basically.
Well, I mean,
because they have similar destinies. Like, they're all the white figure for Shango. They have similar sad ending stories where, like, stuff goes badly with Shango. They all have, like, similar powers, kind of. Like, I mean, Oya and Ocean are different, but they also have, like, this stuff in common that causes their stories to sometimes, their destinies to kind of go in line with each other. Like, because they are similar, like, their destinies are kind of, not fusing, but influencing each other. Does that make sense?
But do we know that really past they all have the same thing? Like, and are they actually hanging out together? Like, we have very few where they're...
Well, they live together. They have conversations all the time.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean, that's how
true.
Ocean gets Oba to, like, put her ear in the suit, because, I mean, they all live together, and Oba's like, hey,
Yeah, that wasn't conversations all the time, though. That seemed like more like it was like a one-time thing. Like, he was like, oh, hey.
I mean, if it's following a traditional Yoruba model, which it should be, they live together.
I'm not saying they don't live
There's no reason
together.
they wouldn't.
They don't seem friendly, so I don't think they would be talking all the time.
Well, they're rivalries, but they're also not, like, enemies. Otherwise, they just try to murder each other.
Yeah, I don't think that's what you necessarily do to enemies all the time. Especially when you're women. Like, we don't have any of them
When
ever
you're
fighting.
Oya, you murder people.
We don't have any of them ever fighting.
Oya's the one that goes into battle with Shango. Remember, she wears a beard like a man because she's that battly?
Well, that's because she's a man.
But she's not.
But she is.
I mean, we don't have to like that idea of destinies influencing each other. The other one I was thinking of was Orunmila, the prophecy god, because when he marries Ocean, like
she picks up prophecy.
Yeah, he emphasizes her prophecy, and you know when he hangs out with Eshu becomes associated with prophecy. Like they kind of become more prophetic because they're with him.
Right.
And I mean, some of that is just because he's the big prophecy guy. So like, if you want to be prophetic, you have to go through him. But it seems like a similar situation to me, I guess.
Mm-hmm. No, that one seems. I think that one seems better than the other one.
Okay.
The other one seemed like.
Shango just likes women who have water.
Well, Shango just likes women that have water, or people that are around Shango get water.
But I mean, other people that are around Shango, a decent amount don't. Like,
Well,
the dudes don't.
there's no one really who's around him as much as his wives.
That's true.
I mean, the same thing we said of Orunmila, like, he doesn't give prophecy to Shango.
It's true, he doesn't. Or like, Eshu seems to be all up in Shango's grill all the time, but Shango's not a sprout of chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think, like, they should all be giving everything to each other, but there's...
Or we hate this idea, but throw it away.
We could hate this idea and we throw it away.
I guess maybe come back to it, see how many we have when we go through the rest of them.
Okay.
See if we need it.
Shooting for 6 of the small one. I have 5 already.
You have 7.
Oh, okay. How do we go from 5 to 7?
Remember, you had 6. I told you halfway through that one of them was 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just did the ability legend thing.
Oh, okay. That was on there already.
Yeah.
Okay, then how many do we have for the higher one?
3 right now.
3. Okay. I have 3. Where's the drunken one? That's it.
That's a handful. I'm sorry, I have 2 there. Why did I think I had 3? I have the virtue extremity one, and then I have the drunken one.
Okay. Should the drunken one be lower so they can experience it longer? Like, just getting it till God doesn't give them a lot of time to, like, have that be a part of themselves?
I agree. We moved it because it's fate bonds.
Right.
So
Can we just do it as pick, like, 4 things and get the bonuses to those and not against everything else?
their level 4 boon is doing that.
No.
I mean, it makes them fate bonds, but it's essentially doing something.
No. The level 4 boon makes a fate bond,
Yes.
which is not the same thing as this.
Well, isn't this, like, going to mechanically mimic that other than the buy-off?
No.
How's that? Something has to.
What's different is this one is you perform your vice, be it drinking. Most of them have drinking,
mostly
cocaine or heroin or whatever you want to do. And then you get a bonus to a certain number of things, and then a negative to all the other things.
Yeah.
That's not how fate bonds work. Fate bonds are a specific number
I
of things.
understand
with a
how
negative
fate bonds
specific
work.
number. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like you do.
Really?
Yeah.
You think I don't
when
understand how
said,
fate bonds work?
yes, because when I said what the difference was, you were like, oh,
that
it sounds
was
like the
old
same
version.
thing.
No, stop. That was the old version. What you were talking about now is a new version. I didn't know if that was.
That's why I started the conversation with we would do it differently.
Right, and so I was like, different mechanics. Tell me about them. How they're.
And then I did.
But those are the same mechanics, so
No,
that's why I was confused.
it's not the same mechanic.
What I have written down is +10 to some abilities, -5 to everything else.
Right, that's not how fate bonds work.
I know it's not, but you're saying when you said different mechanics, I meant different mechanics from the one we already had written down.
No, what
That's
we were
not
sure
what you're doing.
already had written down, the reason we moved it up was because it was +10 to things you're fate bound to and -5 to things you're not fate bound to.
Right. Everything about that system except for the presence of the
I need
fate
you to
bond is
stop
the
being
same.
so close to me. Thank you. You
I'm
came
trying to
right
be
back.
in frame.
Look, you can be in frame without your hand touching me.
Sure, I wasn't touching you.
You're getting too close to me.
Okay.
So either you wrote it down wrong, or yeah.
It's right there, you can look at it. What I'm saying is everything about that system is exactly the same except the presence of the fate bond, so I didn't know how much of it you were going to change.
It's not the same. There's a big difference between pluses
Except
to
the
fate
fate
bonds.
bond! Except the fate bond, I keep saying that!
But that's what I was talking about, and you were like, it's the same thing.
No, the
Obviously, it's not
rest
the
of the
same thing.
system is exactly the same.
No, it's not!
Yes, it is. The +10 to the some things, the -5 to the other things is the same. That's why I was confused. It's not really worth arguing about. We figured it out now. So
Okay,
move on.
figured out you don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's not what we figured out. Back
So-
it off.
Yes, so would it be better earlier if it's just a +2 several things and then a -2 everything else, instead of worrying about it being tied to fate bonds?
It could be. We already have one thing that shoots some abilities and stuff happens with them.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to make it be the same abilities? Is it going to be weird to start to be hard to keep track of if it's a bunch of different things that pick different abilities?
Maybe. Remember, they're only getting 2 or 3 of these, so
Right.
it would
that's
only be
true.
hard to keep track of if
Oh,
they.
that makes sense. Okay, yeah. They could. I mean, they could stack them, but if they did, they'd know they were doing that.
Yeah.
So it's to happen all at once. Okay, so how many would you like them to choose?
Let's see. There's 24 abilities. Maybe 6 is fine. Yeah, like 6 would be a quarter of the ability,
Okay.
and then minus the rest of them.
All right. So now you have 8 in the lower level one and 1 at the higher level.
That's true.
And is this just straight ability rolls? Is it all ability rolls, including boons?
Everything that uses an ability. Ability rolls.
That's what I'm asking. Just clarifying.
I don't-
I'm
I don't
clarifying. It's
understand.
important to know. Because God forbid I type it up wrong when you meant something you didn't say.
Uh-huh. God forbid that indeed.
All right. So, what things go in the high level one?
I don't know. Oh, we have the teleport one still. We were talking
Okay,
about whether
yes.
that makes sense to just always go to one place.
We were waffling because Ogun's always goes to one place. Eshu goes to a bunch of places.
Right.
I'm trying to think of examples of other people too. They tend to just get on their donkeys and ride around them. So.
Hmm.
I guess you could make a case that Shango always goes to the same place. He's Oyo-centric. He's looking at.
Hmm.
Like even after he dies and ascends and all that craziness.
So it'd just be your cult center?
Could be. Are we getting to the high level one when we have cults already?
Yeah.
Okay. Could be. I mean, you have multiple cult centers. Is it just tied to one of them or all of them or
Maybe all of them? Like maybe that's why you can go to different places?
maybe? How do you define cult center?
I don't know. Answer that question.
Well, are you defining it as where you have a fate-bound cult, which is something we actually don't have the system for on the site yet?
That's what, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Should we put that system on the site? Because right now it doesn't make any sense.
Maybe? I mean, seems pretty obvious to me. But, maybe? I mean, might as well.
I mean, either that or just give them a separate definition that's, 10 level 10 fate-bounds in the same place. Cult center.
Either of those works. But generally, the cult center should be a non-movable thing.
Right.
So this will probably just be 75 legend. It's a 15 tick action.
Okay.
So you can do other stuff while it's happening, but it happens 15 ticks after you start it. And then you teleport to one of your cult centers.
So the 15 tick. We have to phrase that some other way, because a 15 tick action would imply that you can't do anything else during that time.
Right. I don't know how to phrase it another way, though. The idea, please stop. The idea being that it doesn't work instantly, right? So it's not just a really good out of the frying pan. You could just say you use it, and then 15 seconds later you.
So the normal 5 tick action that just happens in 15 ticks.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to choose which one you're going to if you have multiple cult centers?
I would assume so.
Is that gonna, I mean, the usual question, is that gonna be too much overlap with Psychopomp? Because that's potentially like I'm teleporting from the overworld to the world and totally not needing Psychopomp for anything.
Maybe.
Teleportation is such a glitch for Psychopomp.
Yeah. It's a little different because, like, it should be pretty easy to know where you're going, so that like you're easier to chase, or people are able to know where you went. Where it's like you can kind of go anywhere.
That's true.
But it does have the normal problems with Psychopomp overlap.
And I mean, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough of a deterrent. Like, practical application, people are just going to use it to travel around a lot. Like, just for traveling purposes, not even necessarily. Like, does there need to be a triggering incident for them to go there? Like, for Eshu, he doesn't show up till there's a divination. Or for Ogun, he didn't show up till someone pulls the chain.
No, it's too messy.
Okay.
Because then it's just the ST making random choices about when it's happening, and it's stupid.
You could make the ST do the random determination per day thing.
But the boon is only really useful when you need it. Having it happen randomly makes it.
Well, you could do something like ST rolls a die for the day. If it's a success, you can teleport to your cult center today. Somebody did the thing that makes you go there.
Mm.
You don't have to do it immediately, but you could. But that is another thing the ST is doing every day.
Yeah. You could roll a dice when you use it. You need to get a success on that one dice. Otherwise, it didn't happen that day.
It's getting weird. I never liked those like reverse mechanics where like you do something, but then you have to check and see if you actually did that thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Scrubby has enough of that already because of the heavy Destiny focus. I mean, maybe it's okay. Like, there's already some, like, boundary crossing travel games out there, and they don't seem to be stealing Psychopomp's thunder too much. Like, they're just expensive and rare, high level usually. And if this is going to be for the top level one, then there's no worry about it being overpowered. Like, if it's on the lower level one, it's kind of overpowered.
Yeah, it would be the top level one only. Okay. I mean, it's only yourself. There's no way to make it work on other people.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that makes a big difference. Even if somebody has to come along, could they do the thing where they pay extra to just come along with it? Okay.
Because it's not an actual boon, it's just a relic power.
Okay. So I might be okay with that if it's just the one person.
Only works if you're conscious.
It's an action, so I'll write it down.
I'm talking about no, but otherwise it looks like you can use it, and then 15 seconds later your unconscious corpse will disappear.
Oh, I gotcha.
I think it's okay, but it's almost so powerful that it's mandatory.
It depends on what else we have here at God level thing.
Yeah, we just need to come up with. Right now, we just have the extremity one,
We have the extractor.
and that one's just get legend back.
Yeah, double your butcher.
Double your virtue and legend. I mean, that's not bad, but when it's looking between that and like the ability to teleport to safety whenever I want.
It's really useful, but also gonna happen less because you're theoretically avoiding virtue extremity anyway. So it's a bonus you're only getting when something has gone wrong already.
Yeah.
Which is still cool. I would take it, but
Would you take it over being able to teleport to your home whenever you want?
am I picking one of these things?
Probably.
I don't know. Would depend on the character. I think that depends a lot on the player and what kind of character they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there probably are some people who are like, well, it's always more powerful to have the teleport, so I'm always going to take teleport.
Right.
But, you know, people that aren't basing it on, can I fetch some of the curvy?
Yeah.
And it's so high up that it's not like people are going to be like, well, I'm not going to buy any Psychopomp. Because when I'm Legend 9, or Legend 10, I'll be able to just do that. Like, that's a long time to go without Psychopomp if you really need it.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you do have Psychopomp, it's useless.
You want to build something in, like, if you have Psychopomp, it's cost less?
Why not?
Yeah.
It's already pretty cheap.
I guess it's not useless for all Psychopomps. Like the Gozos of the world that can't actually jump that far
Yeah.
can use it. It's not any more expensive than any of the Psychopomp booms, so if you're just taking yourself, you might as well in some cases.
But with the cat entering the screen, we're done. You've had 26, 27 minutes of us rambling, so...
And we have not succeeded at finishing the boom we started with.
Yeah, not surprising.
No.
But, yeah, so that's our process. We got really black and white during the course of this.
That's because the cat went through and
She like
she
white balance.
reflected.
Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, so that's what we do for hours on end. It's really frustrating and miserable.
It was pretty calm in terms of frustrating and miserable, though.
Yeah, it got out of hand for a little bit, but I guess it was fairly calm.
Not too badly. It's been out of hand worse.
Yeah. Next up, after Orisha, so far on the voting scale is the Amatsukami. I will probably, if we have to do them next, need a gigantic break. So that might not come out for a long, long time. If it was something that didn't involve writing an entirely new PSP, then that might come out sooner. So if you voted for them, you may want to change your vote if you would prefer something to come out sooner. Like,
Basically, he's saying we will do them next if that's what you want, but it may take us like 4 months to do it.
Yeah.
Because John is going to pass out every time he looks at it. So if you don't want to wait 4 months for us to do anything, maybe pick something else and switch your vote. And if you're cool with that, then stay where you are.
yep. Or, if you guys have voted for something else but want to rework it, whatever. Okay, so
You guys know how polls work.
you know how polls work. So that's it for the week. We reached like 30 minutes. So goodbye, everybody.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
We're tired.